few TV shows have become as popular as Firefly, despite its 14-episode season run and early cancellation. To this day, the show remains one of the most popular sci-fi westerns of all time and is highly regarded by its devoted fan base. While Firefly was followed by a few spin-off media, including a movie and several comics, the original 2002 series is still the most prominent piece of content within the franchise. The show is set in a culturally rich and futuristic universe where humans have settled among the stars. While the series contains vibrant and unique world-building elements, there are several details that fans may have missed. 1. The land has faded into ruins. As the original birthplace of humanity, the land that was takes on a more mythological role within Firefly lore. The show is mostly set in the year 2517, hundreds of years after the mass exodus that caused humans to leave Earth forever. No one alive has memories of life on Earth, and its artifacts are considered rare and highly valuable. Within the larger Firefly canon, the Earth began to deteriorate in the 1920s due to climate change and overpopulation issues. Plans for an evacuation began to gain traction in the 1 to 1960 seconds. Earth was considered completely uninhabitable at the turn of the 22nd century, and when the last Ark ship dropped, it was assumed that no one on Earth survived. 2. The verse is smaller than you think. In Firefly, the verse is the colloquial name for the region of space inhabited by humans. Given its name, one would assume it refers to the entire universe, but in fact, the verse refers to a single star cluster. Within the cluster there are 5 main stars, 75 planets, 149 moons and several other celestial bodies. Everything in the verse has a name in both English and Mandarin, although one is usually chosen as the official and most commonly used name. The planets in the verse can be divided into 3 different categories: central, border and marginal planets. There is a clear divide between these regions based on their access to resources and alliance support. 3. The alliance is of Chinese and American manufacture. The alliance is the primary body of government and law enforcement within the Firefly universe. They are primarily concerned with protecting peace and order in society, which often leads them into opposition to Mal Reynolds and his crew. However, the alliance has deep roots in the show's vast history, dating back to the time of the mass exodus from Earth. Before leaving the land that was, the 2 largest governing superpowers, the United States and China, formed an alliance to control the exodus. Called the Alliance, this single government agency grew into a powerful military regime and continued its control in colonizing the verse. The alliance is why both English and Mandarin are used throughout the show, as well as the unique blend of Eastern and Western culture. 4. The settlers made terraforming a priority. When humans first arrived on the verse, most of its planets and moons were incompatible with sustaining life. Therefore, a process called terraforming was undertaken to reshape planetary conditions. The central planets were the first to undergo this process and therefore have environments much more similar to that of Earth. The planets in the border region have harsh conditions, but are still close enough to the central planets for support and technology. The planets that make up the rim have a very different fate, terraforming and colonization being much more recent. Life on the edge can be archaic due to the harsh, untamed nature of the environment and little alliance support. 5. Terraforming can go wrong. While humanity has used terraforming to their advantage in the Firefly universe, the process is prone to failure. In these cases, the planet reverts to its uninhabitable state and is deemed unfit for human habitation. These types of planets are called black rock. Some planets also have unique responses to the terraforming process, which can lead to unexpected problems. In the episode The Train Job, Mal and his crew encounter the planet Regina, known for its relentless spread of a degenerative muscle disease. This disease is the result of mixing air on the surface with particles from the planet's core. 6. The unification war only lasted 5 years. Within the Firefly universe, there is a hostile divide between those who support the alliance and those known as independents. This is due to the war that took place between these 2 sides 6 years before the show's main narrative. Those fighting for independence from the alliance, including Mal Reynolds, suffered a crushing defeat and were eventually forced to surrender. The unification war took place between 2506 and 2511, and the fighting mostly took place on planets in the border and outlying regions of the verse. While Firefly opens with a scene from the last battle of that war and makes small successive mentions of key events there, very little is known about its origins. All that is revealed to the public is that the planets of Border and Rim wanted to operate outside the control of the Alliance, which the Alliance simply couldn't accept. 7. Psychic abilities can, of course, exist. Key to the show's story is the discovery of River Tam, a girl with strange psychic abilities as a result of the Covenant's experimentation on her. River's abilities are usually represented as extrasensory perception of people's thoughts and emotions, as well as the ability to predict some events. River is smuggled out of the top-secret Alliance compound, called the Academy, by her brother Simon when he receives a coded message from her hinting at the abuse he is enduring. Although the show treats River's abilities as something strange and unique to her, there is evidence that she had some psychic abnormalities prior to the Covenant's experiments. A series of promotional videos released by Firefly creator Joss Whedon portray River as having naturally strong intuition before she was imprisoned by the Academy. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe and support my channel.